She betrayed me by cheating with my golden brother. But I didn't stay on the sidelines. And here's what happened next. My name's Dave. I'm 22. I'm just your average dude, you know? Work at a coffee shop, throw down cupcakes like they're going out of style, and kick back at night with my girlfriend, Liza. She's this whole vibe. Funny, smart, and always down for something wild. We've been together for almost 2 years, so I thought I had it all figured out. Life was smooth, chill, no drama. Or so I thought. Enter Jake, my older brother. The guy who's basically the family's golden child. Like, he's that guy everyone looks up to. The one who can do no wrong. I swear, if I had a nickel for every time someone said, "Why can't you be more like Jake?" I'd be living in a mansion by now. But here's the kicker. Dude barely even shows up to family stuff. So when he drops by my place after a year of silence, I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. But of course, I should have known something was off the second he walked in. It wasn't just that he was back, it was how he acted. He was trying so damn hard to be everyone's hero. Like, dude, calm down. You're not auditioning for a role. He starts cracking jokes like he's the next stand-up legend, and everyone's eating it up. I'm sitting there trying to act normal, but inside I'm like, who is this version of my brother? And then, boom! The moment that hit me like a freight train, he starts flirting with Liza, right in front of me. Not like the casual, hey, you look good today kind of thing. No. He's all up in her space, throwing out compliments like he's got $1 million smile and some secret charm formula. Liza? She's loving it. Laughing too hard at his jokes, touching his arm like they're old friends who share more than just inside jokes. I'm standing there, fists clenched, and I can't even look at her. She's supposed to be my girlfriend, and here she is, playing along with this loser's act. I mean, come on, I'm right here. I tried to brush it off at first, right? Keep it cool. Maybe I was being paranoid, but deep down, I felt this old familiar gut punch of jealousy. And trust me, it's not just regular jealousy. It's the kind where you start questioning everything. Is she into him? Does she actually think he's better than me? And Jake? Oh, he's loving it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's always been good at this game. That night, I couldn't shake it. The way he kept eyeing her. The way she was feeding into it. Something shifted, but I didn't know how deep this rabbit hole went. I thought it was just a harmless flirt. But I had no idea what was coming next. And man, was I in for a ride. A week passed, and I tried to pretend everything was fine between Liza and me. But let's be real. When things start to go sideways, it's like a slow leak in a damn boat. You don't notice it at first, but then the whole ship starts to sink. I noticed the little things, like how Liza was glued to her phone, way more than usual. She'd spend hours texting, and when I walked by, she'd quickly hide it like she was about to drop the hottest gossip in the world. Yeah, real subtle, babe. Then there was the weird quietness whenever Jake's name came up. I don't know if she thought I wouldn't notice, but it was like every time we talked about him, she'd go from talking a mile a minute to acting like we were in a damn library. It's like, come on, I'm not stupid. But hey, maybe I was overthinking it, right? Jake's just being Jake, charming, smooth-talking, and acting like he's the hottest thing since sliced bread. Yeah, okay, it's probably nothing. But that little voice in my head wouldn't shut up. It kept saying, something's off, dude, get your shit together. Then came that Saturday. I was supposed to work late, but I ended up getting off early. No big deal, right? Wrong. I walked in and my life flashed before my eyes. There they were, Liza and Jake sitting on the couch like they were starring in some rom-com I didn't sign up for. Liza's legs were draped over his lap like they were a damn couple. I mean, come on. That's not even something I do with my best friend. But here they were, whispering to each other, laughing like they were the only two people in the room. I could feel the blood rushing to my face, but I forced myself to act normal. You know, keep my cool like nothing was wrong. But let's be honest, it wasn't. The second Jake looked up and flashed me that, everything's fine, bro, grin, I knew it was all an act. There was something off about it. He had that smug, I'm getting away with something look on his face, and I hated it. Hey, bro, Jake said, smiling like we were at some kind of family reunion. Sure, Just sit there like I don't see the disaster unfolding in front of me. I stood there for a second, trying to brush it off, like I didn't care. I mean, it's probably nothing, right? Yeah, right. It wasn't just paranoia. There was a definite shift between Liza and me, and it felt like I was losing control. Our usual easy conversations turned into awkward silences. She'd fidget every time I asked her something, and I'd catch her glancing at her phone like she was waiting for some other text to come through. I wanted to scream, to throw my phone across the room, but instead, I just felt like a sucker. Like, what the hell was I even doing? Why did I feel so damn insecure about it? I hated myself for not trusting her, but at the same time, everything in me was screaming that something wasn't right. And it wasn't. Not by a long shot. The next few days were like walking through fog. Everything was a blur. Lisa and I barely spoke. We'd exchange a few words here and there, but it was like we were two strangers just occupying the same space. And me? I was losing my damn mind. I'd stare at my phone like it was some kind of lifeline, wondering if I should just check her messages. I felt like I was drowning, but I couldn't stop myself. The urge to know what was going on in her world, in their world, was taking over. Then one night, I walked in on something I shouldn't have. It was a random Tuesday, I think, or maybe Wednesday. I stopped keeping track of the days. I was just trying to chill for a bit, but I heard a faint sound from the bathroom. Liza was in there, texting like her life depended on it. The glow from her phone lit up her face, and for a second, I just stood there, watching her. But the second she saw me in the doorway, she slammed that screen shut like it was some secret treasure I wasn't allowed to see. "Who's texting you?" I asked, my voice coming out colder than I wanted it to, like I was trying not to explode. "Just a friend," she muttered, avoiding my eyes like the floor was suddenly way more interesting than the situation at hand. "Just a friend?" I repeated, almost laughing because it was so obviously bullshit. I mean, really? Who the hell texts someone with that much urgency unless it's not just a friend? But I wasn't ready to get all psycho about it. Not yet, at least. Not until I could prove my gut wasn't just being a drama queen. So, I let it slide for the moment, but my mind was firing. I started thinking about how many times I'd caught her being shady. I couldn't shake that feeling. Then, the perfect storm happened. One day, I got my chance. Liza left her phone unattended on the couch. Big mistake, and like the idiot I am, I grabbed it. I wasn't proud of what I was about to do, but damn it, I needed answers. I opened her messages, and boom, there it was. The first one that slapped me right in the face was from Jake. Yeah, my brother. The one who'd been all hey bro and acting like we were best friends. It said, "Had fun last night. Wanna see you again soon?" My stomach dropped. I mean, I was not prepared for that. I thought I might puke, but I kept scrolling. And the more I read, the worse it got. The texts were flirty, suggestive, practically wet with innuendo. I felt like a sucker, but it wasn't just Jake being a sleaze. Oh no. Liza was replying to every single one of them, laughing at his jokes, sending him emojis, encouraging him like he was her man. It was like the world was spinning, and I was just stuck in the center of it, watching the train wreck happen in slow motion. I wanted to scream, break something, or just leave, but I was too busy feeling like I had been played for the biggest fool in the world. She wasn't just ignoring me, she was choosing him. And that was the worst part. I couldn't hold it in any longer. My blood was boiling, and every time I looked at her, it felt like a damn volcano was about to erupt. I needed answers, and I needed them now. So, I did what anyone who's been completely blindsided would do. I confronted her. "You and Jake, what the hell is going on?" I asked, standing right in front of her, barely managing to keep my voice steady. My fists were clenched at my sides, and my heart was pounding like a jackhammer. I was done being the nice guy in this whole mess. Liza's face shifted for a split second, and I saw that little flash of guilt. But then, like a switch flipped, she put on that "I'm innocent" look. "Dave, it's not what you think," she started, trying to calm me down, but I was beyond that point. "Not what I think," I cut her off, the words practically snapping out of me. "I read the texts. You've been talking to him behind my back." My chest was tight, and I could feel the rage bubbling up like I was about to pop. Her face went white, like she'd seen a ghost, but she was quick to recover. I could practically see the gears turning in her head as she tried to come up with the right response. "It was just harmless flirting. I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said, voice soft, like I was supposed to buy it. "Harmless flirting?" I shouted, hands flying up in disbelief. "You think I'm stupid? You've been seeing him behind my back, haven't you?" I wasn't asking anymore. I was telling her what was going on. "I haven't slept with him, if that's what you're asking," she snapped back, like that was supposed to fix everything. Like the fact she didn't sleep with him somehow erased the fact she was texting him, laughing at his jokes, making plans. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. She had crossed the line. She was trying to minimize it like it wasn't a big deal, but every part of me was screaming that this was a huge betrayal. "You want me to say what, Dave?" "I don't know. It just happened," she muttered, looking away like the floor was suddenly the most interesting thing in the room. "Yeah, it just happened," I repeated, seething. "Well, you know what? I'm done. I want you out." There it was. The words that would change everything. No more lies, no more pretending. I was done with the maybe and what ifs. I was done being the guy who got strung along while my so-called girlfriend had a secret thing with my brother. She looked at me, her mouth opening like she was going to say something, but I couldn't hear it anymore. Whatever came out of her mouth wouldn't matter. I knew what she'd done. I knew what she'd chosen. And I wasn't sticking around to be anyone's fool. After the confrontation, everything between Liza and me went straight to hell. It was like a car crash, but in slow motion. Every part of me just wrecked, piece by piece. She packed up and moved out in a couple of days. No fight, no big, let's talk about this drama, just a few bags and a door slamming behind her. And honestly, that was the last I heard from her. Like, poof, gone. The house felt emptier than a ghost town. I mean, it wasn't even the space that bothered me. It was the silence. Like, the kind of quiet where you feel like the walls are closing in, and all the memories of what was supposed to be perfect, just echoing back at you. Every corner reminded me of her. The kitchen where we'd shared dumb inside jokes. The couch where we'd binge-watch Netflix for hours. All of it was just gone. But the worst part? Oh, that would be Jake. Yeah, my wonderful older brother. He wasn't just some side character in this drama. He was the damn root of it. I couldn't even look at him without wanting to punch something. Hell, if I saw him in the street, I'd probably just cross to the other side. The guy I grew up with? That guy was dead to me. The weeks dragged on, and it wasn't getting any better. It wasn't just the silence in the house. It was everywhere. People at work started whispering behind my back. I'd catch snippets of conversation, and it was all about him. Jake had been spreading his version of the story, painting himself as the innocent little angel and me as the jealous psycho. Apparently, I was the bad guy for kicking Liza out. Yeah, that's right. I was the asshole for being loyal to her. Funny how that works, right? It felt like I wasn't just losing her. I was losing everything. My reputation, shot, my family, already on the verge of flipping sides. It was like I was getting stabbed from every angle, and no one had the guts to ask for my side of the story. Everyone thought I was overreacting, that it was just some petty drama between lovers. They didn't see the whole picture. They didn't see the betrayal. Not just from her, but from him. They didn't know how deep the lies ran, or how far Jake went to screw with my life. I mean, come on. My own brother? Flirting with my girlfriend behind my back, feeding her bullshit, playing me for a fool. And the worst part, he had the nerve to spin the story like I was some villain in a soap opera. It was like everything I thought I knew, my family, my relationship, my damn life, just fell apart. But hey, right? It's all my fault for trusting the wrong people. Welcome to the reality show that is my life now. I couldn't let this slide. Not a chance. I wasn't just going to sit back and let Jake get away with being a total scumbag. If I couldn't fix things with Liza, fine. But I was definitely going to take down Jake. Hard. I mean, it was game time. If my own brother was going to play dirty, I wasn't going to sit in the bleachers like some sucker. No, I was getting into the ring, and he wasn't going to know what hit him. So, I started doing what anyone in my position would do. I gathered dirt. I needed to find out exactly what kind of sleazebag I was dealing with. I reached out to friends who were still cool with him, the ones who saw through the perfect big brother act. They started opening up, telling me stories of how Jake had been playing both sides for ages, pretending to be Mr. Perfect, all smiles and charm, while stabbing everyone in the back. You know, the kind of guy who could convince you he was your best friend, while secretly plotting to take your seat at the table. Real shady shit, but I needed something bigger. Something that would absolutely expose Jake for the fraud he was. So I kept digging. I was like a detective, except I didn't have a badge. Just pure, unfiltered rage and a phone full of notes. I spent days doing this, just unraveling the web he'd spun. Every time I thought I was done, I uncovered something worse. It was like opening a Pandora's box of lies. Then, boom, I found it. Apparently, Jake had been borrowing money left and right, running up gambling debts bigger than my student loans. And it wasn't just random people. He'd convinced Liza to lend him a massive chunk of cash. Yeah, that's right, my own girlfriend. She'd been duped into thinking she was helping out her perfect, charming boyfriend. Meanwhile, he was just draining her dry, hiding the truth from her while playing the victim card. That's how deep this went. He wasn't just screwing me over, he was using Liza too. And there he was, strutting around acting like he was some kind of saint. Meanwhile, he had all these skeletons in his closet that would make anyone's jaw drop. The whole time, he was acting like the perfect older brother, like he was better than me. Meanwhile, he was out here lying to everyone, using charm to manipulate anyone in his path. It was time. I couldn't let him keep getting away with this. I had everything I needed. The ammo, the dirt, the proof. It was time to take him down. It all came to a head at Thanksgiving dinner. You know, the kind of dinner where everyone pretends everything's normal, shoveling turkey in their mouths like nothing's wrong. The family was gathered, acting like it was just another holiday. The smell of stuffing and mashed potatoes filling the air, everyone laughing and telling bad jokes. It looked like the picture-perfect family moment, right? Yeah, except I knew the truth. I knew what was about to go down. Jake, my perfect older brother, was sitting there, pretending to be the saint he always was. He had that smile on his face, the one he reserved for when he was about to pull some bullshit move and try to act like he was the innocent guy who never did anything wrong. I could see it in his eyes. He was waiting for his moment to swoop in and play the hero. But not this time. Not in front of me. I couldn't let him get away with this. Not today. Not after everything that's happened. So I stood up. Just stood up right there in the middle of the dinner table. People stopped talking. Forks suspended in mid-air. The room went silent. Everyone looked at me like I was the crazy one. But I wasn't crazy. I was done. I need to say something, I said, my voice cutting through the silence like a knife. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a spoon. Jake froze, eyes flicking toward me, probably hoping I was just joking. But I wasn't. Not even close. Jake, you've been lying to all of us. You've been playing us like fools, and I'm not going to let you get away with it anymore, I said, my voice cold, hard like steel. I pulled out my phone, and the moment I did, Jake's face went white. I swear, I could see him calculating how to get out of this. Too bad, buddy. The game was over. I hit play on the screen showing the messages. The ones where Jake was flirting with Liza. The ones where he was borrowing money from people like it was a damn charity. And the ones that proved he'd been playing me, lying to me, acting like he had no idea what was going on. The look on my parents' faces was priceless. They had no clue. They thought Jake was the golden child. They didn't know that their perfect son had been running a whole con behind their backs. My mom looked like she might faint, and my dad just stared at the screen, his mouth open like he couldn't process it. "Dave, you don't have to do this," Jake said, his voice shaking. His usual confidence was gone, replaced with panic. But I wasn't done. Oh no, not even close. "You don't get to play the victim anymore," I spat. I could feel the anger rising up, but I wasn't holding back. You ruined everything. Everything. All this bullshit you've been pulling, pretending to be the good guy, while I was the one who got played. Well, guess what, Jake? Not anymore. I'm done. The room went cold, dead silent. The kind of cold that makes you feel like you're standing in an open freezer. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears, but not a single part of me regretted what I just said. Not a single word. It was the most intense moment of my life, but I felt free. Like I'd just dropped a weight I'd been carrying for years, and watching Jake squirm in front of everyone, that was the cherry on top. After everything blew up, the family was never the same. Jake was out of the picture for good. And Liza? Well, she tried to come back, but it wasn't the same. I didn't trust her anymore. And after what happened with Jake, I couldn't look at her the same way. I moved on, but the scars remained. The weird thing, I didn't feel the satisfaction I thought I'd feel after bringing Jake down. It was like I had destroyed my family for nothing. But maybe that's just how life goes sometimes. You can't unsee what's been done. In the end, I learned a hard lesson. Trust is everything. And once it's broken, it's almost impossible to fix.